Today is the 25th of May, and that makes it 1 year since an unarmed black man called George Floyd was killed by a white police officer in the US. Today, his family has been invited to meet with US President Joe Biden in the White House. George Floyd's death caused protests around the world, and there have been lots of discussions about racism ever since this happened. But what has changed in America in the last year? BBC reporter Kizzy Cox has made this special report for Newsround.
I'm Kizzy, and I'm here near the Black Lives Matter mural on 5th Avenue in New York. This mural is one of several that was painted throughout New York City to show support for Black lives after George Floyd was killed by police. In the years since, there's been a lot of talk about stopping racism, and actions have been taken to make life fair for Black people. Let's take a look at some of the things that have happened. Just like in the UK, the US has a history of slavery, a time when it was legal to buy and sell Black people as slaves. The American Civil War ended slavery after the Confederate Army, the side fighting to keep Black slaves, lost. But statues of slave owners stayed up all over the country. Last year, some of those statues were finally torn down, and the Confederate flag, which represented support for slavery, was banned from U.S. Marine bases. Some schools and streets named after Confederate leaders were also renamed. But the calls for justice and fairness are perhaps loudest when it comes to police reform. Defund the police has become a rallying cry for making big changes in how police do their jobs, but it's also controversial. People against the practice say defunding the police, that is, taking money away from police departments, will lead to more crime and unsafe communities. But supporters of the move say defunding the police means refunding communities, that is, putting money into services and programs that will help people before police can get involved. For example, giving more money to job programs, education, and mental health services will reduce crime, say supporters. Now, defunding the police is not necessarily the same as abolishing the police, which is getting rid of police completely. But there are some people who do support that too. Police reform has played out differently in different cities. In Minneapolis, for example, where George Floyd was killed, the city council voted to defund the police, but the mayor stopped them from taking the more radical step of replacing the police department. In Atlanta, where police killed another unarmed Black man last year, the city's mayor limited police use of deadly force, but the police haven't been defunded. Here in New York City, the mayor has cut hundreds of millions of dollars from the police and promised to give it to youth and social services. Despite these changes, there's still a long way to go. Cities all across the nation are trying to decide what police reform will look like. But President Biden has made it clear doing nothing isn't an option. And although he doesn't support defunding or abolishing the police, he does believe there's systemic racism, and policing needs to change to make it fair for Black people.
My fellow Americans, we have to come together to rebuild trust between law enforcement and the people they serve, to root out systemic racism in our criminal justice system, and to enact police reform in George Floyd's name.
Well, for more on this story, you can head to Newsround online, where there's also advice about what to do if anything in the news upsets you.